Welcome back to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And in this case, we're talking all about adoption. We're honored to be joined by Kristen McBee. She's the Executive Director and Birth Mom Advocate, and Courtnie Mizer, Assistant Director and Adoptive Parent Advocate with Destiny Adoption Services and Consulting. How are you two doing?
We're doing good. We're super happy to be here and share our hearts about adoption. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And the cool thing about what you do is you cover both sides. So working with the families looking to adopt and working with the mothers and families who say, hey, I need to have my child adopted. And so I think on both sides, really cool what you do. But give us a little backstory on how this all started.
Sure. Well, Destiny Adoption Services and Consulting was actually founded in St. Petersburg, Florida, but our founder has roots here in East Tennessee. And so in 2017, we engaged in conversation, myself and Lisa Caparo, that's our founder, and we decided to basically establish a Destiny here in Tennessee. And so ever since November 2017, we've been operating as a licensed child placing agency.
Give us an idea of how individuals find you. And so talk about kind of the network and where it starts.
Well, social media is a huge way that we draw in our adoptive parents, our birth mothers as well. We have a website, www.destinyadoption.com, that is just filled with lots of great information for both sides, adoptive parents and birth parents. And then, I mean, you can call us, email us. I feel like my phone number is linked to the Destiny number, and it's all out there on Google. And so we have our two offices in St. Petersburg and here in Farragut. So the local folks in Florida would call the St. Petersburg office, and the local folks here in Tennessee would call either our Brentwood office in Nashville or our Farragut office here.
So I kind of alluded to both sides, and obviously you did as well, but go ahead and unpack what you do and how all the magic works.
Well, once we have a birth mom come to us, we assign her an advocate, which in this case would be Kristen. And then the matching process begins where she finds the perfect family for her baby. And when she chooses that family, that's when I step in as the adoptive parent advocate. And so we work together to make sure both sides are heard and supported. And we just do our best to make sure that everyone's advocated for in their own special way.
Yes. And I'm the birth mother advocate. And so my role and responsibility is to make sure that she knows and understands her choices, rights, and options. That way she can feel confident in the decision that she makes, whether that is to parent, to place for adoption, or to go through other means like foster care or family members. And so I basically just make sure she feels supported and that her voice is heard and honored, not just during her pregnancy, but also way beyond if she allows us to walk with her post-placement. So we help our mamas, whether it's employment or mental health services. They have free mental health individual counseling with us for the rest of their lives. And so as far as birth mother advocacy goes, it's really about just honoring her and the birth father as well as the birth parents, and making sure that we are forming the type of adoption plan that they have requested and that it is being honored all the way through.
Carry that forward into a little bit of a testimonial, and obviously you don't have to name names, but I'm thinking along the lines of it can be scary, intimidating, the unknown, and then coming in and having someone saying, hey, look, here are so many different options, and here's what you can do, and here's what you need to think about. And just that can be comforting, but also empowering. And so talk about kind of what that really means for a birth mother.
Well, I think for me, the common theme is there's a misunderstanding with adoption on both sides, whether it's the adopted parents or the birth parents. When I speak with a birth mother for the first time, she's really not aware of what her rights are as a birth mother, and any type of assistance that she can receive. There's a lot of horror stories out there on the internet about adoption, and some of those are very valid and true. But here at Destiny, we're constantly trying to reframe that narrative of adoption, that you can choose the family, you can choose what type of openness you want, if any. And also, just I think they feel like it's all up to us as the agency, and it's not. Like they think, well, you just choose whoever you think would be a good fit for me. And we are constantly just saying, no, like, what is important to you? Like, we need to make sure that we understand what is important to you moving forward. And so it is very scary for them. There's also fear of judgment and shame and criticism from people within their community, their family, their friends. And so it's really heavy. You definitely feel the weight and gravity in their voice when they're making that first phone call.
Let's switch over and talk about the adoptive parents. Walk us through that, on a deeper level of kind of what they're going through and the questions they're asking, and just that process and helping them to navigate.
Sure. So to become an adoptive parent, you have to go through what's called a home study. And I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's basically like a research paper on your family. So it's pretty in-depth and can be vulnerable and invasive feeling for adoptive parents right off the bat. In the very beginning, they're having to go through that. They also create a profile book, which is just a brief synopsis of what their family looks like on paper, for the birth parents to look at and decide which family they want to choose. That can be very nerve-wracking, knowing that people are looking at your family and judging your family. And so from there, once they're matched with the birth mom, my job is to make sure that their voice is heard and they feel supported, because they also have questions and needs throughout this process, which is totally normal. This is potentially the baby they're going to be raising for the rest of their lives. So it's very important to us that we work together to make sure everyone feels heard and that their questions are answered. And those questions are all over the place. Emotions are all over the place. And that's why we're here, to help center those emotions and help keep everyone feeling comfortable.
What are a few of those common questions, misperceptions from the adoptive parents? What are a few of those that here's your chance to kind of set the record straight. So what are a few of them?
Oh, there's so many. Mostly just, I think adoptive parents are afraid of open adoption for a lot of reasons. And we try to comfort them and let them know that open adoption doesn't have to be scary, and we can be there the whole time. For the rest of your life, if you need us, we can be there to help facilitate open adoption, whatever that needs to look like. And I think that's probably the biggest fear that adoptive parents have, is how's this going to impact our family? What is that going to look like for our children growing up? And that's why we're here. We want to help them get through that process and everyone feel okay. And it can be done, and it is done every day in lots of different ways.
I want to add something too, just from the birth mother advocate perspective. If we have birth mother and she is wanting to speak with them on the phone, and have some verbal communication with them before meeting them in person, I think that there's an expectation for there to be this amazing connection and this spark. And it's not that way. And I think it can be disheartening and discouraging, but you're talking about two people who have never met each other before, two groups of people coming together in very emotionally heavy circumstances, and it's awkward. And that's why usually I'm on the phone. So we'll do like a conference call, and I'm just there for support. So I can hop in if there's crickets chirping and awkward silence and pauses. But I would say 99% of the time, when we talk to both parties afterwards, they're like, it was just kind of awkward, and they're afraid of what to say. Like, they don't want to, it's like the adoptive parents don't want to experience joy because they understand birth mom is in the middle of grief and sadness, making this decision, but also possessing a lot of hope. So I don't think there should be any expectations the first time there is communication with one another. And obviously our agency will be there to support and hop in if needed.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because the acknowledgement of awkwardness, makes it easier on both sides, where it's like, okay, it's normal to have a lot of, just silence, because to your point, the emotions are so high and you don't want to say the wrong thing. And so I can easily see where it would be extremely awkward, but just knowing that on the front end is extremely helpful, and kind of lowers the nerves and stress on, okay, what is it supposed to be? It's okay to be awkward. I feel like so many moments in life should be like that. It's going to be awkward.
Yeah, we spend a lot of our time normalizing emotions just like that. I mean, they're normal. They happen in every situation, especially in a situation like this, where you've got two strangers coming together, and it can be very strange and awkward. And so we spend a lot of our time normalizing all of this is totally normal and happens every time. Yes. And that's kind of the biggest piece of our job, is validating that those emotions are real and normal.
Yeah. So paint the picture of success. And success obviously can go in a lot of different directions, because it can be for the birth mother success. It can be the adoptive parents. It could be the families, all working. Like, what does success look like on your end?
For me, as a birth mother advocate, I think that the message that we're trying to convey, especially with open adoption, is the expansion of a family is not just the newborn coming into the family. It is the expansion of inviting the birth parents into the adoptive family as well. Obviously not physically, but in a sense, and that is also to say that's, when it's appropriate and when there's the same preference of an open adoption on both sides. I think that is the picture of success. And also knowing that up front it's going to be rocky, because you're wading through some really difficult emotions in the beginning, and that relationships evolve over time. But I think that when we're talking about what's in the best interest of the child that's being placed for adoption, it's a healthy understanding of your biological roots and heritage, and also seeing that your birth parents are involved in your life growing up, whether that's through, an annual visit or FaceTime communication, letters, things like that. So to me, it's welcoming the child and the birth parents into the expansion of that family.
Yeah. And even if that's not for open adoption, just making sure that this child's story is told the rest of their life.
Yeah, that's extremely important. Carry that into Destiny Community Care. So talk about community care.
We both love this topic.
This is our passion.
This is our passion. Adoption is our passion, but Destiny Community Care is, it's still in its infancy right now. I think what we're known the most for right now is our Babies N Buns diaper giveaways. It is, I think we have, I don't even know, like over a dozen giveaways we've done so far in 2022. And really, I think kind of what makes our Babies N Buns unique, the buns, by the way, is mini cinnamon buns. So that's like kind of our, take on double B's. So anyways, we give out free mini cinnamon buns, and we give out free diapers with no strings attached. And we think that that's important. You don't have to sign a piece of paper for us. We're not pushing an agenda. It's really for anybody of all walks of life that just needs some diapers, some help, that might be going through a rough patch. And so it's an opportunity for us to just smile. Sometimes we hug them. Sometimes we play with their kids and give mama a break for a second. And so right now, I think we're known a lot for the Babies N Buns giveaways, and we're partnered with the Nashville Diaper Connection, as well as helping mamas here in Knoxville to get those diapers, as well as we receive donations as well. Our goal and our vision for Destiny Community Care, what we're currently working on, is it's really centered on parenthood in general. So all types of support classes for postpartum depression, first-time moms, single dads, single moms, things along that nature. Also working with families who have kids that are in DCS custody and helping them reunify with their kids by pointing them in the direction of services that they need. So Destiny Community Care, it's one of those things where we just don't ever want to have to tell a parent, no, we can't help you. We'll figure it out somehow.
Nice. We'll wrap up with a couple of ways that we can help. You mentioned donations. So wrap up with how we can help, and then obviously where we go to help. So website, social media, where do we go?
Well, definitely our website, www.destinyadoption.com. You can find us on Facebook as well. We have Destiny Adoption Services. We also have Destiny Community Care as well. September, the month of September, is actually National Diaper Awareness Month. And we have formed our own team. It's the Destiny Community Care team. I believe we're putting up a website for that and an Amazon wish list. So we're partnered with Helping Mamas to pull in as many diapers as we can for them to fill their warehouse. But we are always needing diapers. You can contact us through Instagram as well. Or you can email me directly. My email address, my phone number is on our website as well. There's so many places on social media. Just type in Destiny Adoption Services and we will pop right up.
And the website again is destinyadoption.com, which makes it very easy for you to find them. So Kristen, Courtnie, thank you for all you do. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you.